Hi, these comments are for SD. I am Michael from OTC online TOEFLcourse.com, and you're one of dozens of students this week who have already completed my free TOEFL speaking practice test I offer at online TOEFLcourse.com, right? So you want to get a general estimation of your speaking score between 0 and 30 points, right? Okay, let me get the rubrics all set here. So I have the independent speaking rubrics, and I'm getting ready to listen to your practice test.
I would prefer to study alone while preparing for an exam.
Okay, to give some context to my YouTube audience, the question here is, what do you think's better, studying in a group or studying alone?
I would prefer to study alone while preparing for an exam rather than study with a group due to two reasons. Firstly, while studying alone, I can decide upon the topics on which I want to focus rather than study the particular topic which has been decided upon by group consensus. For example, for the last semester exams, even though I wanted to focus upon trigonometric, however, my fellow colleagues were struggling with integration, and hence I also had to study integration even though I was
Good
thoroughly aware of
example.
that
That
topic.
is what I'm talking about.
Also, another reason is that I do not want to be disturbed while studying, something which cannot be avoided while studying in a group where students might be either using social media or asking questions about the doubts that they might have.
Okay, so I think you did a pretty good job with your example in there. So you have some strong points with your topic development. Your delivery will forever hold you back until you improve your pronunciation. So I think that's where you need to make a lot of improvements. Generally clear. I'm going to put I'm going to put you between 22 and 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. It just turned on its own. Did you see that? Okay, what are we doing? Let me focus. Okay, so based on your practice test, I'm going to give you 23 points out of 30, right? So let's listen to it one more time.
Prefer to study alone while preparing for an exam rather than study with a group due to two reasons. Firstly, while studying alone, I can decide upon the topics on which I want to focus rather than study the particular topic which has been decided upon by group consensus. For example,
Okay, so I like how you have that the group consensus thing, right? Now, my recommendation is I always discourage students from saying I have two reasons or something in the beginning because that's very generic. So if you want to have a good introduction and if you want to state the two reasons, right, state them concisely, right? But don't just say I have two reasons. You might say because I can get my studies done faster and I'll have fewer distractions, I prefer to study alone when getting ready for examinations. Something like that, right? Then say, first of all, studying alone is more efficient. Then you support that assertion with some idea. So you would do that, right? Then you'll say, second of all, studying alone also helps me to score higher on my tests. Then you give an example to support that.
for the last semester exams, even though I wanted to focus upon
So your tone is too even, it's too monotone. So you need to work on varying your tone more than you are. I think that's going to be important for you.
trigonometric, however, my fellow colleagues were struggling
My fellow colleagues.
with integration, and hence I also had to study integration even though I was thoroughly aware of that topic.
Yeah, I like that. The example is strong. That's good.
Also, another reason is that I do not want to be
No, another reason, or say also studying alone helps me too. So you need to restate When you move to the next reason, right? When you move to the next reason, it's absolutely essential that you repeat part of the speaking prompt, right? That way you keep a clear connection of ideas between what you're saying and the actual speaking prompt.
Disturbed while studying, something which cannot be avoided while studying in a group where students might be either using social media or asking questions about the doubts that they might have. I would prefer.
Okay, do you have any example to illustrate that second point? And that can help strengthen what you're saying. And I know you ran out of time, right? So the strategy here is if you don't have enough time for a second example, then just focus on your first reason along with that example, and that's fine. You can certainly do that. There's no problem with that. Okay, so I think here, I think with your delivery, you need to make some improvements with your intonation. I think that would be a good start, is to work on varying your tone more than you did. And then with your topic development, if you bring up a second reason, then you're expected to fully support that second reason. So just be careful. Make sure that you can organize things in a way, you can manage your time in a way that you can completely kind of answer the question along with specific details, because you did elaborate and you were specific as it related to the first reason, but you didn't elaborate and you weren't specific as it related to the second reason. All right, so your score, I'm going to put you at about 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30 on this practice.